morning students. So in this class we are going to discuss about our next kingdom of animal classification chapter, and our next kingdom is chordata. So we will first discuss about some general characteristics of this phylum, that is the organism of the animals which belongs to this phylum, that is chordata. They are characterized by the presence of a notochord. That means they contains a notochord. Along with this, they also contains a dorsal nerve cord, and they contains the paired pharyngeal gill slits. So the main characteristics of the animals belonging to this chordata phylum is the presence of notochord, the presence of dorsal nerve cord, and the presence of pharyngeal gill slits. Now, the second characteristic is that usually the organisms which are belonging to this chordata phylum, they are coelomates. That means they have the true body cavity. They have the true body cavity, and they have organ level of body organization. Means they have complex body organization. Further, usually the organism belonging to this phylum, they have closed circulatory system. That means the blood in their body runs through a closed system of blood capillaries, nerves, and all that. And organisms belonging to this phylum, they also shows a post-anal tail. That means they contains a anal tail. Further, this chordata phylum, it is divided into three subphylums. That is urochordates, the cephalochordates, and vertebrates. The urochordates and cephalochordates, they are also known as the protochordates. They are also known as protochordates. So both these subphylums, that is urochordates and cephalochordates, they are together known as protochordates. These urochordates are the organism which contains the notochord only in their tail and only in the larval stage. So notochord is present in urochords only in larval stage, and it is present only in the tail region. Whereas in case of cephalochordates, the notochord is present throughout their life, and it is present from head to tail. So in cephalochordates, the notochord is present from head to tail region, and it is present throughout their life. Now the examples of this organism, that is, first we will discuss the examples of urochordates. The urochordates includes the organisms like Acidia, Sulfa, and Dolulum. Whereas the cephalochordates, they includes the organisms like Cyclostomata. Now we will describe all these phylums, that is vertebrata, urochordata, and cephalochordata, through a chart. So the vertebrata kingdom, it is divided into two subphylums, that is Agantha, those organisms which lacks the jaw, and the Cyclostomata, which contains the jaws. This Agantha, its class includes the Cyclostomata, whereas this Cyclostomata, their superclass is first divided into two types. The one includes the Pisces, that contains the fins, and another includes the tetrapods, which contains the limbs. In case of Pisces, they contains only fins for the movement in water, whereas the tetrapods contains limbs for locomotion, usually on terrestrial sites. This Pisces, this subphylum is divided into classes, that is chondrichthyes and Osteous thighs, and the classes of tetrapods includes the amphibia, reptilia, aves, and mammalia. Now we will discuss all these classes and phylum in details. So now we will discuss our next subphylum, that is Cyclostomata. So usually the organism belonging to the Cyclostomata, they are ectocarpus, ecto, parasites to some fishes, and they have elongated body. 15 pairs of gill slits, and they contains a circular and sucking mouth. They contains a circular and sucking mouth which do not contain the jaws. That means the jaws are absent in these organisms. Further, their body is devoid of scales and paired fins. So, even they do not contain the paired fins or scales on their body, and their cranium and their vertebral column, it is made up of cartilage. So, they contain the cartilaginous cranium and vertebral column. Further, the organism belong to this Cyclostomata. They have closed circulatory system. That means their blood in their body runs through a closed circulatory system made up by the blood capillaries and nerves. Usually they are marine, that means they are found in aquatic habitat, marine habitat, but sometimes they move to fresh water in order to carry out the spawning process, and again when their larva is produced, the larva comes back to their same habitat, that is marine water, and after spawning, usually these organisms die. The examples of Cyclostomata includes the Petromyzon, that is commonly known as the lamprey, and the Mixin, that is commonly known as the hagfish. Now, our third subphyla is Chondriocytes. Usually, these chondriocytes are marine and they have streamlined body. So, they are marine and have streamlined body. They have cartilaginous endoskeleton. That means their endoskeleton is made up of cartilage with a ventrally located mouth. So their mouth is located on ventral position. Further, notochord persists in these organisms throughout their life, and it is present from head to tail. And they contains the separate gill slits without operculum. So operculum is absent in case of chondriocytes. And they contains the tough skin with placoid scales. Even the teeth in these organisms are modified, and they also contain the placoid scales. Further, they have two-chambered heart. Two-chambered heart means they contains only the one auricle and one ventricle. So two-chambered heart, the upper auricle and the lower ventricle. And in these organisms, the air bladders are absent. Because they do not contain the air bladders, that's why they have to swim in water constantly. Further, these organisms belonging to the chondriocyte, they contain some electric organs. So they can produce the electric current, they can soak you, and the example of the organism having the electric organs is torpedo. Further, there are certain organisms or certain animals which also contains the poisonous stings. The organism having poisonous sting is trigone, that is stingray. Further, these organisms which are belonging to the chondriocyte, they are usually cold-blooded animals. They are usually cold-blooded animals. And the examples of these organisms include the Scolidium, that is commonly known as dogfish, the Prestes, commonly known as sawfish, the Carcharodon, commonly known as the white shark, and the trigone known as stingray. Further, next example is torpedo. This torpedo is characterized by the production of that it can produce the electric shock, and it may harm the other animals. And the trigone, it is characterized by the presence of the poisonous stings in its body. So, our next subphyla is Osteous thighs, and this Osteous thighs, it includes both type of fishes, that is the freshwater fishes and the marine water fishes. So it includes both freshwater and marine water fishes. Usually these fishes which belongs to Osteous thighs, they have bony skeleton. So their endoskeleton is made up of bones. Till now we studied in fishes that their skeleton was made up of cartilage, but in case of osteocytes, their endoskeleton is bony, that is, it is made up of bones. Further, the fishes which belongs to osteocytes, they have a streamlined body. They have a streamlined body, and the mouth is terminal. That means the mouth is present at terminal position. Further, they contains 4 pairs of gills that helps in respiration process, and these gills are covered by a membrane that is known as operculum. So their gills are covered by a membrane that is operculum. They contains 4 pairs of gills which helps in their respiration in order to obtain the dissolved oxygen that is present in water. And their skin is also covered with scales, and these scales are known as placoid scales. So skin is covered with scales that is known as placoid scales. These fishes belonging to this phylum, they contains air bladders. And these air bladders helps in buoyancy. That means they helps in the floating in water. And these fishes, they are usually cold-blooded fishes. They are cold-blooded fishes which contains the 4-chambered heart. So these are the first fishes that contains 4-chambered heart, that is the 2 upper auricles which are lower, which are of less size, and the 2 lower ventricles which are of larger size. So these are the first fishes that contains 4-chambered heart. The upper 2 are auricles and the lower 2 are ventricles. The auricles are smaller in size, whereas the ventricles are larger in size. Further, the fishes belonging to this kingdom, they have separate sexes. That means the male reproductive system is present in one fish and the female reproductive system is present in another fish. And they carry out the external fertilization with direct development. The examples include the exocoitus, which is also known as commonly the flying fish, the hippocarpus, which is also known as the seahorse commonly, the labio rohita, that is also known as the rohu fish, the catala fish, and the clarius fish. So these are the examples of the fishes belonging to the osteotheres. What are the general characteristics? That in case of habitat, they are found in fresh water also and in marine water also. In case of their body skeleton, it is made up of bones, that is they have bony endoskeleton. They have a streamlined body which helps them in the swimming process, and the mouth is terminal, that is present at the one end of body. They contains 4 pairs of gills which are covered by a membrane known as operculum, and these gills helps them in obtaining oxygen from, that is dissolved oxygen from water, and that means the gills helps in respiration process. And further, the skin also contains scales, and these scales are known as placoid scales. In these scales, they contains the oily glands which prevents their body from the water. Further, they contains air bladders, and these air bladders helps them in floating in water, that is they helps in buoyancy. These organisms, they are usually cold-blooded organisms or cold-blooded fishes which contains the 4-chambered heart. The upper 2 chambers smaller in size known as auricles. The lower 2 chambers are larger in size known as ventricles. So these are the first fishes that contains the 4-chambered heart. Further, they have separate sexes. Separate sexes means the male reproductive system present in one organism, female reproductive system present in another organism. And they carry out the external fertilization process. As usually these fishes present in water, the male fish will release its sperm cell in water, the female fish will release the egg cell in water, and in this case the fertilization is external. That means the fertilization is a chance fertilization. If sperm cells released by the male fish meets the egg cell released by female fish, then only the fertilization occurs. So the fertilization is external and development is direct. Further, the examples are exocoitus, commonly known as flying fish, hippocarpus, commonly known as the horsefish, labio rohita, known as rohu fish, the catala, and the clarius. All these are the example of osteotheres. Thank you.